successful season at that time, yet almost within days, I was extremely discouraged. And the reason is because we were losing half of our field players. Besides the goalie, we were losing 5 out of our 10 positions, key, talented young men. And if someone were to come up to me at that time and say, you know what, you're going to have a very successful 2022 season, my honest answer would be unlikely, highly unlikely. If they say, well, you're going to go 17-2-2, I'd say highly unlikely. But then there's Psalm 115. If they said you're going to have a winning streak running from August to early October, I would say highly unlikely. But then there's Proverbs 21. If they say you're going to win your 4th consecutive MIAC banner, I would have said highly unlikely. And then there's Psalm 115 and Proverbs 21. And yet it happened. It happened. And how did it happen? Well, looking back, there's a number of ways. There was this mouthy, sassy freshman. He shows up and he trash talks the seniors and not only proves good on his smack, but he has a real good game at left back. We call him Dez. Then there's this tall kid with a blonde mullet and a goofy smile. And he shows up at the New Life tournament, scores a goal, gets some assist, and he delivers. He's got game. And then you got veteran standouts like Caleb Brewer in goal and Austin Leach at center back, who literally go on to be the best in our program at their respective positions. Caleb bringing just an elite level of play and leadership. When we played Greater Grace up in Baltimore after the game, their players literally came up to me and said, who is he? Where is he from? And then Austin simply has not been beaten in 4 years. Actually, he was beat once as a sophomore, but he won it back with 5 seconds of fury. And then there's John Stockton. We had him at left back. We put him in the middle. Now, John's always been tough and good, but this year, this kid came alive. He played like an angry pit bull. He went on to score the late equalizer in the final and earn MVP for the MIAC final tournament. And Elias, this kid's just a machine. He's a machine. He doesn't stop at anything. Of course, he put in the game winner in the final. And then Jose Valentin, again, he's been good, he scored goals, but he just seemed to emerge this year. He became nothing short of a top-rate goal scorer. Very talented and resourceful, who could literally score from anywhere in the half. And then Peter Schotter, our South African street fighter. He just gets better and better and better. And he was all tournament at the end. Merriman, he's just scrappy and tough as nails. That'll never change. Jeremy Took had a sweet race on homecoming night. Danny Villala simply will do anything I ask of him. He'll go anywhere, play any position. William earned his starting spot and made key contributions throughout the season. And on and on and on. People stepped up and emerged and blossomed and found their voice. And needless to say, I'm just extremely proud of these young men behind me. Psalm 115, Proverbs 21. And yeah, we had this assistant coach in Sean Mayo. It's almost like he'd look at a game film of a team, Greater Grace or Mac, and he'd come back with like a 28-page scouting report, complete with diagrams and footnotes. Almost, but not far, right, guys? He would have their favorite foot, their running patterns, who their favorite target or passes were. Crazy. So how did it happen? Psalm 115, Proverbs 21, and team. In other words, everyone played their part. Now, on to awards. Let me just read all tournament at this time. You don't have to come up, but then when I call the other